No news that the stock market is in a funk, and many of us are concerned about retirement plans. Well, today, Steve Diggs, our resident money and life skills coach, is here. He says some good news. So if you have good news, let's hear it, because a lot of people seriously are concerned about where their money is right now, and considering everything that's going on with the economy, they wonder, are they going to have anything to retire on?
Charlie, who knows?
The truth. That's a good point, yeah.
No, the absolute truth of the matter is this. Markets come and markets go, and people always get panicked at times when they think things are going down, and that's kind of normal. You know, we always get this attitude that when something is going in one direction, it's going to keep doing that. Do you remember back in the late 1990s and in 2000, the markets were shooting up, and we had people telling us that they expected to have 30 and 40% market returns forever? Of course, that doesn't happen, and markets go down too.
Well, you know, a lot of people, in retrospect, they look at that and say, okay, it's what the analyst said. It's an adjustment.
That's a kind way of saying that there's a bloodbath going on right now. Okay?
So, somebody's hurting, right?
Well, you know, technically, we are not in a recession yet. It takes 2 full quarters of downward movement on the gross national product for a country to be in a recession. But it feels like a recession to a lot of us.
Sure.
And I would recommend 2 or 3 or 4 things that we might want to remember at a time like this. Number one, like we said a moment ago, don't panic of all things. I mean, that doesn't do any good at all. You know, markets change, and I was doing a little studying on this recently. The typical bear market, now that's a time when the markets are going down like they are right now, lasts about 340 days, something like that. The typical bull market, that's when the markets are going up. That's when we're all happy. Lasts about twice as long, more than 700 days.
When you say don't panic, obviously calm down, but what you say also is don't react and make us, you know, like sell something or move something around unnecessarily.
Yeah, you know, usually the only people that really benefit when they convince people that the sky's falling are the people that are trying to sell the helmets, and it just doesn't work that way. And I'll tell you something else that I would encourage you to think about is just beware of market timing. You know, the temptation at a point like this is to listen to all these fast-talking people on the television, and I hope it's ourselves excluded from this one.
So we talk slower than most fast-talking people.
Yeah, about 500 words a minute with gust up to 700, but you know, it's a temptation to start, you know, looking around and listening to these people who are trying to tell us what hot stock to buy now and all this, buy low and sell high.
Who do we listen to, Steve? Who do we listen to?
Well, the best advice is to probably listen to the academics. The academics tell us that in reality, markets don't work that way. They never tell you when they're telling us to buy low and sell high. Nobody ever tells you what to do if that doesn't work. What we need to do is go back to the basics. And really one of the basics is the third thing I was going to recommend this morning. And that's to understand the whole concept between balance and risk, the need to diversify. And this gets back to your question, Charlie. The academics tell us that over 90% of our market returns are not based on what a lot of the people tell us they are, and that is that you buy low and sell high. No, it's based on how you allocate or how you divvy up your money.
And no, don't put everything in one basket. That's the risk you're talking about.
Exactly. Instead of trying to put it all in stocks or in bonds or in cash, usually the best advice is to diversify.
All right, and another thing too, and this will lead into I think your final point. You have to analyze what's going on right now personally for yourself, considering all the economic times, right?
Well, you do, because you know the temptation at a point like this is just take all the money and bury it in the backyard, and the truth is that is highly dangerous in retirement planning, because you talk about high-risk investing. The bugs are going to eat it. Inflation is going to destroy it, or you're going to get Alzheimer's and forget where you put it. Something bad's going to happen.
But still, again, it may be safer than Wall Street, Steve. You never know.
Well, the third thing I would encourage you to do is simply this: rethink your retirement plan. I mean, if you're hoping to retire at age 59 or 62 or 65, even rethink that. If you're going into a bad market time, why not work a bit longer? You know, when the retirement laws came along back in 1938, the average lifespan, and the government was smart about this. You know, they said, okay, retirement is 65. That's when we're going to start paying benefits. The average lifespan was 65 years. Now, to get that corrected to today's lifespan, we would have to begin retirement at about 75. So the truth of the matter is, if you're 62 or 65, why not think about working a little bit longer? May not be the first thing on the hit list that we'd like to do, but it can save some grief.
Sit back, allocate some time, and rethink what's going on right now, considering the economic times. If you'd like to get in touch with this man and talk about any of the things we've talked about here today, if you have a particular topic you'd like to talk about, get in touch with him at stevediggs.com. We're talking no debt, no sweat, my man.
Thank you, bro.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Steve Diggs. More Tennessee Mornings on the way right after this. Don't go away.